Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you some mistakes to avoid when you are day trading. Now I'm talking from experience, and these are mistakes that I still make in the markets. I made some this week, in fact. And I believe that being aware of these mistakes I'm going to share with you will really help you to not only cut unnecessary losers, but help you to make more money when you are day trading. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Emily. I've been trading for over 5 years now. I've been trading Forex for a few years. I trade both my live account with IC Markets and I also trade my funded account with the prop firm, the 5%ers. A prop firm is a great option for traders who suffer with lack of capital. I've created a separate video which talks more about them, and I will talk a little bit about them later in the video. But for now, all of the software that I'll be using will be linked in the description below. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and let's get straight to it. Here I am in my MetaTrader platform. These are some of the trades I took this week. It's been a pretty rough week for me, and I'm going to jump right in with mistake number one because it's relevant to my account results today on Friday, and that is to not trust your weekly outlook. Now, I don't know whether you do this yourself, but a lot of traders, myself included, like to do a weekly outlook. This is basically where you carry out an analysis of the week to come, which you usually carry out at the weekend, so you do it in advance so that you feel more prepared for the markets. It can consist of both fundamental analysis and also technical analysis, getting your charts nice and tidy, ready for the week to come. I myself did this, and in particular, when I was doing my news analysis here on forexfactory.com, looking at the week to come, the most important thing that I noticed was the fact that we had NFP due out on the Friday. Historically, we have NFP every month, and historically on NFP week, it can be quite an unpredictable, more choppy week. Combine that with FOMC, which is also released on the Wednesday this week. My initial feeling was that this was probably going to be a tricky week. And I also looked at the charts for some analysis. And I also combine this with my technical analysis. So I'm just showing you the demo here on pound dollar. That's one of the pairs I mainly trade. And this was the beginning of the week. We had the big drop down and a little push up. I thought that this week we were going to see a pullback into these areas, so I was quite reluctant, and that combined with NFP, I thought we might get more of a slow, choppy week, waiting for news release and pulling back. Not really the week to push it trading. So my initial weekly outlook view on the markets was to kind of sit on my hands, take it steady, don't overtrade, wait for these key news releases to occur, and then see if there was any opportunities. But I didn't really stick to that. Instead, I looked to other markets to see if I could capitalize. So I started off with Euro Pound. And this leads me into the second mistake to avoid when you are trading. Now, some of these will probably occur more, especially if you are a beginner, but they can still catch you out, even experienced traders. And I myself have experienced it this week. And that is revenge trading. So as you can see, the first trade that I took this week was in Euro Pound, and it was a buy. It was a really nice trade, but the mistake that I made with this was because I took the trade in a rush. I am juggling this with managing 2 preschoolers, and I literally took this trade when we were in the car as I was getting out to go into the shop. So it's quite a rushed trade that I took. Because I was in a rush when I took it, I used half size position thinking I would add to it, but I just didn't get time to add to it. So the trade in fact won, but it won at half the size I would usually use. And so I felt cheated almost. I felt like I was more annoyed because I could have made more money instead of being grateful with what I made. And so instead of just taking that profit for the day and walking away, which is what I would usually do, I pushed it and then tried to get back in later when I had the time to look at the charts. But obviously the market doesn't care. When you have the time, the market will do what it will do. And my second position lost the profits I made from the first position. But I didn't stop there. Because I didn't use enough risk the first time, I immediately took 2 positions out on the second time, which meant that the second trade that I took on Euro Pound later in the day, which was pretty much in the evening here in the UK, I doubled up my risk. And then this is going to lead me into another mistake that is a crucial one to avoid, especially if you are a beginner. And that is to be aware of large fees. Now, I know what you might be thinking, hey, fees just come with the package when you are day trading, but there is a way that you can avoid any extra large fees. I'm talking about the rollover period. Basically, if you are day trading, as I usually do, day trading mostly consists of intraday. So you are trading the current day. Swing traders will usually hold overnight, and so their position will take into account that expectation of holding the trade, which usually means that they will have a larger stop loss to account for the volatility. And it means that they'll be selective on the markets that they choose, because if we're holding overnight, that means we're committing to trade during the Asian session, the London session, maybe the New York session, depending on where you are in the world. But each session comes with its own pros and cons. And going back to the mistake itself, avoiding large fees. When I took my second position out here on Euro Pound, I took this really quite late in the day. Basically, two things happened. So when it was the rollover, it hit my stop. Now, I didn't expect it to hit my stop, but the spread got so large because it was the rollover that it hit my stop, and I suffered slippage, which meant that instead of a minus 100 loss, which is what I would usually get, it doubled it up to 150 each. So I had an extra loss, which was quite painful. And also the swap rates here. So the swap is what you pay sometimes when you are carrying over a trade overnight. It can be good. Sometimes you can make money on a swap, but sometimes you don't. And on this occasion, I didn't. So they are the extra fees to be aware of. I had another big one down here for USD Swiss, and this was a very large swap. I've not usually seen them that big before. And the next day, I did get out of this break even. I had the opportunity to get out in profit, but I got out with enough to cover the cost of the trade itself, which was basically a break-even trade. And it goes without saying that another mistake to be aware of to avoid is obviously holding during the rollover. If you decide to hold a trade overnight, but it is an intraday position, you've got to be prepared for that large spread if you don't know this already. So usually 10 p.m. GMT is when the current Forex trading day will end, the new trading day begins, and that is in Australia. And during the first half hour to hour, you see a massive gap in spreads, not on all the pairs, but on some of the more common European ones like Euro Pound, like Pound Dollar. Sometimes you may even get a 15 pip spread, and sometimes the spread alone is enough to just get you out of the trade, even if the position looks good. And that's why I tend to avoid holding overnight, because it can get really unpredictable and you can end up racking up quite a loss. I've been trading with the prop firm, the 5%ers, for some time now. As a prop firm, they are a great option if you want to trade a larger capital, where you can trade one of their account sizes and you both take a share of any profits that are made. But they don't stop there. As well as offering account sizes for trading, they also offer these extra features, including live trading room, free webinars and workshops, and one-on-one performance coaching. They have 3 different programs that they offer to traders: the Hypergrowth, High Stakes, and Bootcamp program. I'm currently funded with the Hypergrowth program, so I am trading that live account with the 5%ers and taking a split of profits that are made. And I'm currently enrolled in the High Stakes program challenge as well. And my favorite feature of the programs that the 5%ers offer that differ from any other prop firm out there is the fact that they have removed the time limit, which means that you have an unlimited amount of time to pass the program. This is a massive game changer, and it can really help you to avoid falling into a stressful situation when you are trading. Let's face it, trading can be stressful enough. If you want some more information, or if you're ready to have a go for yourself, do check out the link below in the description. Another mistake to avoid, and this is a really simple mistake that everybody should be avoiding, and that is not considering upcoming news. Now, there are so many resources that you can use online. A lot of them are free, some of them are paid. Personally, I use forexfactory.com. It's free and it's really useful. Every weekend, I will look at the calendar here and I will look at the following week to come. And it's just so crucial to be aware of what is going on in the markets that you trade. And when you are aware of these major news releases that are coming up, it's so important to remember that and take that into account with your trading decisions, because it really does affect the markets. And for my final mistake I'm going to share with you, that will feature the last few trades here that I took on USD Swiss. And for that, well, let's look on the charts. So Wednesday and Thursday this week, I took some trades on USD Swiss. And this mistake that I can pretty much see now with more clarity is kind of similar to revenge trading. And this aligns with over trading. It's where you are trying to force the market instead of accepting that the market conditions are possibly just not matching your approach. And that's because on the Wednesday, I took a trade here. Now, this is the one that racked up a very large spread. I held it overnight. It was this short position. And in the morning, around about 6 o'clock in the morning, so right here, when I looked at the trade, I was in the negative, But the swap and the commission fees really racked that loss up. So I was observing this, and the moment it came down here into profit, I got out because I had enough signals here that we were getting some bullish momentum. I didn't want to be in that any longer, so I closed that. So fortunately, that was a break-even trade. Now, the second position that I took, which was later on in the Thursday, was a buy here. And this was looking quite nice, but I had a larger stop. It didn't make it. I trailed a profit stop and I got out of this with just 1R profit. That would have been a good point to walk away once again because I was up on the week. But I didn't stop there. I was still revenge trading and over trading. It's like I think the market owes me and I want to stay in. I want to make money, more money. And that's what I did. And I basically set this short not long afterwards, which was quite a poor quality trade, and as such, it hit my stop here. And so being aware of these mistakes, incorporating them into your approach with day trading can really help you to avoid some unnecessary losers, to avoid making some rather large losses, and ultimately help you to make better decisions when you are trading. So remember to always trust your weekly outlook. Try not to fall into the bad habit of revenge trading. If you are day trading and you decide to hold overnight, be aware of those large fees that can sometimes get out of control. Not just the commissions, but the swap rate as well. Also, remember that rollover period can be quite a volatile time where you may experience some really large spreads, and with that, some large slippage as well. Remember, it's super important to consider upcoming news and economic events. It can really influence your trading decisions. And finally, remember, the market does not care what you want it to do. It will always do what it wants to do. So if the conditions don't look favorable, sometimes it's best to sit on your hands. Have you experienced any of these mistakes for yourself? Let me know in the comments below. Meanwhile, if you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.